All right, Megan, so let's go through each body part and how to use the swing back roller for, we'll start at your calves and we'll work our way up. So let's let's work our calves first. So go ahead and sit right here. Now what we want to try to do is find some tight spots, whatever tight spots you have on your leg, isolate them, and then we'll kind of work from there. So what you want to do is put the tight spot that you feel in your calf directly on one of the knobs. And then you can either apply pressure straight down and do small motions, and as you feel comfortable, you can go to a larger motion. Now, another thing you can do is to lengthen and shorten your muscle while you work it. Apply pressure, and as you do that, you can pull your toes towards your nose. Good. Apply pressure, roll, and then point your toes down as you're rolling, and then pull your toes towards you again as you keep rolling. So you're lengthening and shortening the muscle while you're working on it. Now you can also use this end cap of the roller, which is more kind of like a sharp knife edge. Then you can apply pressure on that as well. A little different feel than the knob. Good, perfect. Now let's work on the front of your leg. So what you can do is you can either put both legs on it, good.
Or should I do it?
You can do it either way. If you want to work both at the same time, you can put your other leg on this side and you can roll back and forth. Find those spots that are tight. A lot of runners, I'm sure you do a lot of running. You get a lot of shin splints, tight shins. And the same thing, if you want to bring yourself up, you can point your toes down, bring them up as you roll. Just to lengthen and shorten as you go. Okay? Same thing with your hamstrings. You can start at the top, work your way down, or start at the bottom, work your way up. So what you can do is find on the very attachment of the hamstring, you can put one of the cylinders or one of the knobs on, apply pressure downwards. And then you can, same thing, you can lengthen and shorten. You can do a small stroke or a long stroke, find those spots that are tender. Let's go to your glutes next. So with the glutes, you can either sit directly on top of it, apply pressure, find that spot, and you can roll back and forth just a little bit. Good. I heard a little wince there. So what you can do is you can also cross your leg over like a pigeon pose. There you go. And now you can kind of rotate over onto it and you can roll from there. That kind of brings the muscle out a little bit more. And if you need to, you can push down on your leg that way. Just kind of works a different part of your glute muscles. Good. So let's work our quads and our hip flexors, which oftentimes become very stiff and tight. So for the quads, the same thing. You can find a spot on your quad. Good. And if you want to isolate even a little bit more, what you can do is you can bring your heel towards your butt and then roll, which kind of brings the quad out a little bit more. And you can actively flex and extend your knee as you roll on it as well.
Yeah.
Good. Let's get to your hip flexors next. If you sit for a long period of time, your hip flexors will get really short and tight. So with the hip flexors, the same thing. Just kind of find a knob, put it right on top of the hip flexor, and the same thing, you can bend your knee again and just kind of roll forward and backwards. Good. On the hip flexor. Let's go to your lower back. Very common injury in most people, lower back pain. Keeps me in business, keeps everybody busy, right? So put the indented part of the roller along the spine so it doesn't hit your bone. And what you're going to do is you're going to roll on each segment, find a spot, apply pressure just as you're comfortable, and make sure you breathe. Good. And we're going to go all the way up into the middle of your back or your thoracic spine, just to kind of feel like that gets open a little bit. Once again, you can either open your arms straight out as you roll, let your head fall back, just kind of get back the reverse of that curve that you typically will develop from sitting. There you go, and now kind of roll down towards me.
Oh yeah.
And then if you want to isolate it more to one side, you can rotate your hand over and roll that way too. And then in your traps, you get tightness in your traps a lot. Same thing, you can find one of those trigger points, like you have one right there I can feel. So let's put one of those knobs right on top of that trigger point. Good, yep, there you go. And what you can do is you can either keep your feet flat, you can come up into a bridge to kind of, and then push yourself up over that knob. And then in your neck, just to kind of work each muscle on the side of your neck, lay flat over top of the roller. You can tuck your chin back and just kind of small little motions. And then you can also kind of turn your head to the side and roll. Good. And then you can turn your head side to side as you roll as well. Good. And then if you want, you can come up into a bridge. Good. Okay.